everyone. Welcome to A Diamond's Minute, your space for real encouragement, fresh insight, and the motivation you need to move forward. I am so glad you are here. Let's jump right in. Today, my topic is timing is everything. Mark 4:28 and 29 says, "The earth produces, acting by itself, first the blade, then the ear, then the full grain in the ear. But when the grain is ripe and permits, immediately he sends forth the reapers and puts in the sickle because the harvest stands ready." When you have to yank and pull the fruit off the tree, it's an indication that it's not ripe or it's not time. Because when it's time, the slightest touch causes it to drop from the tree. And even though it's fruit and is considered nutritious, if you eat it before it's ripe, it will make you sick. Not only that, the taste will be distorted. It'll taste funny. Why? Simply because it's not time. It's the same way with the things of God. They may be great, full of potential and possibilities, but if you don't allow the time necessary, it can cause sickness and distortion. In other words, it will bring sorrow rather than a blessing. Abraham and Sarah are a good example of that. God promised him an heir. God promised it. The promise did not require Abraham's intervention, yet Abraham and Sarah did the equivalent of yanking the fruit off of the tree by introducing Hagar into the matter. Of course, we know the outcome of that. Ishmael was born, and he caused all kinds of problems for Isaac, and he's still causing problems today. The consequences of being outside of God's timing can oftentimes lead to generational consequences. Now let's look at Saul. King Saul, facing an imminent battle with the Philistines and with his army scattering in fear, King Saul was instructed by the prophet Samuel to wait 7 days for him to arrive and make an offering to the Lord. When Samuel was delayed, Saul panicked and offered the sacrifices himself, an act reserved only for the priest. This act of disobedience and impatience cost him his kingdom, as God declared he would seek out a man after his own heart. And we know that that was David, to be king instead. Not only that, Saul's disobedience also cost him his peace of mind. As the story goes on, we know that Saul was tormented by an evil spirit. Timing is everything. Not only is it important to make sure you're not moving ahead of God, it's also important to move promptly when He says to move. Delayed obedience is disobedience. Let's look at the Israelites' presumptuous invasion after refusing to enter the promised land the first time due to fear. God declared that that generation would not enter. The people then had a change of heart and decided to invade the land anyway, without God's presence or His guidance. They marched ahead in their own timing and were soundly defeated by the Amalekites and the Canaanites. Lots of them lost their lives. Timing, moving too fast or too slow, can cost you everything. So move in sync with the Holy Spirit at His pace, because timing is everything. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a little extra inspiration. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep moving forward.